an amazing showdown over on MSNBC. This reveals the brainworms, I think, of everybody on both sides. On the one hand, you have Chuck Todd here, who is completely unable to grapple with the idea that Hunter Biden, the laptop itself, any investigation to it seems legitimate, even defending him, saying it's not a crime to make money off of your last name. Actually, it really might be. Then you also have Senator Ron Johnson also just, spouting like the most basic stuff from the laptop itself. So I think this is a great showdown, a view into why our politics particularly suck, and also why you can actually emerge on the other side from truth if you want to. Let's take a listen.
Where I have skepticism of both parties. I sit here with skepticism of a lot of people's work, and I'm curious: were you at all concerned? Your Senate Democrats want to investigate Jared Kushner's loan from the Qatari government when he was working in the government negotiating many things in the Middle East. Are you not concerned about that? And I say that because it seems to me if you're concerned about what Hunter Biden did, you should be equally outraged about what Jared Kushner did.
I'm concerned about getting the truth. I don't target individuals. You
don't? You're targeting Hunter Biden multiple times on this show, Senator. You're targeting an individual.
Chuck, Chuck. Part of the problem, and this is pretty obvious to anybody watching this, is you don't invite me on to interview me. You invite me on to argue with me. I'm just trying to lay out the facts that certainly Senator Grassley and I uncovered. They were suppressed. They were censored. They interfered in the 2020 election. Conservatives understand that. Unfortunately, liberals in the media don't. And that's part of the things that part of the reasons our politics are inflamed is we do not have an unbiased media. We don't. It's unfortunate. I'm all for a free press. It needs to be more unbiased.
Senator,
there's misinformation on both sides, but the censorship and suppression
look, we're trying to do issues here in
from the left.
Partisan cable. Look, you can go back on your partisan cable cocoon and talk about media bias all you want. I understand it's part of your identity.
Partisan cable cocoon. Yes. No one would know what that looks like, would it, Chuck? Whenever we're defending. Also, even the Jared thing, I agree with them 100%. But the fact that they don't care about Hunter, it makes them just as full of it as Ron Johnson.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you have two partisan hacks accusing one another of being partisan hacks.
Yes.
And it's like, actually, you're both right.
Yes, correct.
In this situation. But yeah, Chuck Todd, I'm skeptical of everybody. Oh, really?
No,
I would love to see the breakdown of Hunter Biden coverage versus Jared Kushner coverage, number one. Number two, I mean, he is right about Ron Johnson being full of it and only caring about the things that are like good for his team. But the icing on the cake at the end there is Chuck Todd accusing him of only being in his partisan media bubble. And it's like, dude, maybe look in the mirror a little
You
bit.
just said it's not a crime to make money off your last name. How can you say that you're not in a partisan media bubble? Oh, but at the same time, like Kushner, it's bad whenever he does. No, it's all bad. And this is also why we never get to the bottom of a lot of these legitimate corruption scandals. I would love, by the way, to see an actual accounting of that Jared Kushner Qatari loan, why he was in the World Cup in the first place, kissing their ass, the Saudi deals, the MBS money that he immediately took, even though MBS's own fund was like, we shouldn't invest with this guy. He's not a particularly good investor. And he himself was like, no, let's kick him a few billion because he was good to us in the White House. Straight corruption, if you ask me. It's also straight corruption. The Ukraine thing, we all seem to have forgotten about Burisma. I'm not really sure why. I think it's probably more relevant now more than ever. Biden was literally the point man on Ukraine in the Obama administration. That's why a Ukrainian energy company was paying Hunter $50,000 a month. It wasn't just to potentially buy influence. It's because it was the top foreign policy priority of Vice President Biden in the Obama administration. Then you add on the China discussion. By the way, Hunter continues to have multi-million dollars worth of interest in Chinese companies, which he has resigned his, he hasn't sold his shares, but he's like, I no longer take an active control. It's like, you still have a stake in these companies. Like, look, the Ron Johnson report, he may be partisan, but his report on the Hunter stuff is actually well worth reading. I encourage people to go read it simply because it literally is looking at bank statements. And all of that, actually, President Biden called it a lie while it was happening. And yet no substantive facts have come out to this date that refute a single actual accusation in the Hunter Biden report that was put out by Ron Johnson's committee in the Senate.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, here's why this ultimately silly, little exchange matters. Because these issues that are at the core of it, Kushner's corruption, potential Hunter Biden corruption and crimes, these things actually matter. And when it's clear that you only selectively care about it, you really undermine your position and your credibility with the American people. I mean, it's partly Ron Johnson's own fault that no one really took that report seriously because, oh, you care so deeply about this, but you don't care about the Kushner piece. And it's the same thing with Chuck Todd in the mainstream press. Like, oh, you care so deeply when it happens to be about Republicans, but you run cover for the Democratic Party consistently on an everyday basis. And oh, by the way, you know, you concocted this whole elaborate like conspiracy theory of Russiagate that you've still never acknowledged you got wholly and completely wrong. So these people undermine their own credibility, and then they expect us to take them seriously when they report things that may actually matter, and no one should be surprised when everyone just sees them as complete hacks. So very fun exchange, enraging exchange, and ultimately kind of an important exchange to dig into.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, man, there's so much there.
Yeah, it's a lot of layers.
There's lots of layers as to what's happening. Okay.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.